They said they wanted to celebrate me. My daughter's voice was bright on the phone, almost musical. "Mom, you're turning 70. That's huge. We want to throw you a party, a real one." So I believed her. I booked the ticket. I packed my good dress, the navy one with the pearl buttons. I packed hope, carefully folded, pressed between tissue paper and reasonable expectations. And then I landed at LAX, pulled my suitcase through the terminal, and stood outside arrivals for 43 minutes before I understood. Before I pulled out my phone and saw the Instagram story. All of them, wine glasses raised, vineyard backdrop, caption, "Girls trip goals, no party, no me." It started 3 weeks earlier. I was sitting at my kitchen table in Phoenix, tea going cold when my phone rang. My daughter Jessica. She doesn't call often, usually texts, short ones. Busy day or kids are crazy lol. So when I saw her name, my first thought was something's wrong. "Mom, hey." Her voice had that practiced cheerfulness. "How are you?" "I'm fine, honey. Is everything okay?" "Everything's great. Actually, I was calling because Brad and I were talking, and we realized your birthday's coming up." I set down my tea. "It is. 70's a big one, Mom. You should celebrate." I smiled into the phone. I was thinking I'd make myself a nice dinner. Maybe invite Carol from next door. No. We want to do something special. What if you came here, to California? We could throw you a party." My heart did something strange. A little jump. A party? Yeah, nothing huge. Just family, maybe some of Brad's parents, the kids. We could do it the weekend of your actual birthday. What do you think? I thought about the last time I'd been invited to something. Really invited, not obligated. It had been years. Christmas 2 years ago, maybe. And even then, Jessica had said, "If you're not too tired from traveling." "I think that sounds lovely," I said. "Perfect. Book a flight. Let me know when you land. We'll pick you up." After we hung up, I sat there for a long time. The kitchen window showed my small backyard, the Palo Verde tree dropping its tiny yellow flowers onto the patio. I'd lived in this house alone for 6 years, since Robert died. The silence had become a companion, familiar, mostly bearable. But this, an invitation, a party, for me. I opened my laptop and searched for flights. Found one for $340, round trip. Not cheap, but I still had some of Robert's life insurance set aside. I clicked purchase before I could talk myself out of it. The next day, I went to Dillard's. I tried on 4 dresses before settling on the navy one. It had a modest neckline, fell just below the knee, made me look like someone worth celebrating, the saleswoman said. "Special occasion?" And I said, "My daughter's throwing me a birthday party." And saying it out loud made it feel real. I bought new shoes, too. Low heels, comfortable but elegant, and a small clutch purse, because my everyday bag, a worn canvas tote, didn't match. That week, I got my hair done. Martha, who'd been cutting my hair for 15 years, noticed. "You look excited," she said. "My daughter invited me to California for my birthday." "That's wonderful, Dorothy. You deserve it." I called Jessica 3 days before the flight, just to confirm. She didn't pick up. I left a voicemail. "Hi, honey. Just wanted to make sure we're still on for Saturday. My flight lands at 2:30. Let me know if that works." I texted too, same message. She read it, no reply, but I told myself she was busy. She had 2 kids, a husband, a part-time job at a wellness center. I made excuses for her even then. The morning of the flight, I woke up at 4. Couldn't sleep. I made coffee, checked my suitcase one more time. I'd packed carefully. The dress, the shoes, a sweater in case it was cold, a small wrapped box, Jessica's favorite perfume, Chanel No. 5. I'd saved up for it. Also, a book for each of the kids, my grandchildren. Ava was 8. Mason was 6. I'd barely seen them since they were toddlers. Video calls mostly. Brief ones. At the airport, I moved through security slowly, carefully. Took off my shoes, my belt, watched younger people rush past with their laptops and impatience. At the gate, I sat near the window, watched planes taxi and lift. My phone buzzed once. A promotional email. Not Jessica. The flight was smooth. I had a window seat. Below, the desert gave way to mountains, then California's patchwork valleys. I pressed my forehead to the plastic and thought about the party. Would there be a cake? Would the grandkids remember me? Would Jessica have photos up? The old ones from when she was small? LAX was chaos. I followed the signs to baggage claim, pulled my suitcase from the carousel, made my way to the arrivals area. It was 2:47 when I stepped outside. The California sun was different from Arizona's, softer somehow, filtered through coastal haze. I stood at the curb near sign B4, where Jessica had picked me up last time, 3 years ago. People flowed around me. Hugs, laughter, reunions. A young man held a sign that said, "Welcome home," Dad with balloons tied to his wrist. An older woman, maybe my age, was embraced by 3 adult children at once. I checked my phone. No messages. I called Jessica. It rang 6 times, went to voicemail. "Hi, this is Jess. Leave a message." I didn't. Just hung up. Tried again 5 minutes later. Same thing. By 3:15, my feet hurt. I sat on my suitcase. By 3:30, I called Brad, my son-in-law. No answer. I texted Jessica again. "I'm here, at arrivals. B4. Where should I wait? Read receipt." Still no reply. At 3:51, I stood up, brushed off my slacks. I told myself there was traffic. There was always traffic in LA. But something cold was crawling up my spine. The kind of cold that asks questions you don't want to answer. I opened Instagram. I rarely used it, had only downloaded it to see photos of the grandkids. Jessica's profile loaded. The most recent post was from 20 minutes ago. A photo. Wine glasses, 4 of them, held up to the camera. Behind them, rolling hills covered in grapevines. Bright Sunday. The caption. "Finally doing this. Girls trip goals. Napa. Here we come." Tagged. Malene, Brad's sister. Carrie, Jessica's college friend. Shannon, another friend I'd met once. I stared at it, scrolled down. Another photo from an hour ago. The 4 of them in a car, sunglasses on, laughing. Caption. Road trip vibes. Napa. That was 4 hours north of LA, maybe more. I stood there on the curb, suitcase beside me, clutch purse in my hand, and the sun felt different now, heavier, meaner. I called again. This time, she picked up. "Mom, hey?" Her voice was loud, background noise of laughter and music. "What's up?" "I'm at the airport." Silence. Then, "What?" "At LAX. You said you'd pick me up. For the party." More silence. The background noise faded, like she'd moved away from the group. "Mom, your birthday's not until next weekend." I closed my eyes. "No, it's the 16th. Today's the 16th. "No, it's the 9th. Your birthday's the 16th. We said we'd do the party that weekend." My hand tightened on the phone. "Jessica, you said the weekend of my birthday. Today is Saturday the 16th. "No, Mom, it's Saturday the 9th. I literally have my calendar right here." I pulled the phone away, looked at the date. March 16. "Jessica?" "Oh my God." Her voice changed. "Oh my God, I got the dates mixed up. I thought. I swear. I thought. You're in Napa." Pause. Yeah. But this was planned months ago, before we talked about your party. I didn't realize. When are you back?" Monday. Late Monday." "And Brad?" "He's home with the kids. But Mom, this is just a misunderstanding. You can stay at the house. Brad's there. The kids would love to see you." I felt something inside me, something I'd been carrying for years. Shift. "Did you tell Brad I was coming?" Longer pause. I thought I did. Jessica. Okay, no. I forgot. But it's fine. I'll call him right now. He'll pick you up. You forgot to tell your husband that your mother was flying across 2 states for a party you promised to throw? Mom, I'm sorry. I messed up. But it's fixable. Just wait there. I'll call Brad. I looked down at my suitcase. At the dress inside it, carefully folded. At the Chanel perfume I couldn't afford. At the hope I'd packed like it was something that could survive baggage handling. Don't, I said. What? Don't call Brad. Don't fix it. I'm not coming to your house. Mom, don't be like this. It was an honest mistake. Was it? Yes. God, you're being so dramatic. I laughed then. Not a happy sound. I'm being dramatic. Look, I have to go. We're at a tasting. Just go to the house. I'll call Brad. He'll figure it out. Enjoy your wine, Jessica. I hung up before she could respond. For a moment, I just stood there. Then I turned off my phone. Not airplane mode. Off. I picked up my suitcase, walked back into the terminal. There was a coffee shop near baggage claim. I bought a cup of tea and a scone I didn't want, and sat at a small table near the window. The scone tasted like cardboard. The tea was too hot, burned my tongue. I ate and drank anyway because I needed something to do with my hands. Around me, travelers moved with purpose. They knew where they were going. I didn't. After a while, I pulled out my phone, turned it on. 17 missed calls, 10 from Jessica, 4 from Brad, 3 from a number I didn't recognize. I deleted the voicemails without listening. Opened my texts. Jessica. Mom, please pick up. Jessica. Brad is on his way to get you. Jessica. Where are you? Brad. Dorothy. I'm at Lax. Where are you? Which terminal? Jessica. This is ridiculous. You're making this worse. I turned the phone off again. I thought about that last message, making it worse. As if I were the problem. As if I'd flown myself to California, promised myself a party, forgot myself at the airport. There was a hotel across from the airport. I could see it from the window. A tall, generic tower with a shuttle bus running every 15 minutes. I watched the bus come and go twice before I stood up, threw away my half-eaten scone and walked outside to wait for it. The hotel room cost $189 a night. I paid for 2 nights because I couldn't think about going home yet. The room was what you'd expect. 2 double beds with floral bedspreads, a TV bolted to the dresser, a view of the parking lot. But it was clean, and it was mine. I sat on the edge of the bed and cried for the first time. Not loud, not dramatic. Just quiet tears that came without permission and left without fanfare. When I was done, I washed my face, changed into comfortable clothes, and ordered room service, a bowl of soup and a roll. It arrived 30 minutes later, delivered by a young man who said, "Enjoy your evening, ma'am," like he meant it. I ate slowly. The soup was fine. Not great, not terrible, just food, and that was okay. That night I couldn't sleep. I turned on the TV, flipped through channels, found a documentary about wolves in Yellowstone, watched it all the way through, then another about deep-sea creatures. I fell asleep sometime after midnight with the TV still on, the narrator's calm voice describing bioluminescent jellyfish. In the morning, my phone had 32 new messages. I deleted them all, but I did read one. From Brad. Dorothy, please let us know you're safe. The kids are worried. The kids. Ava and Mason, who barely knew me, who saw me once a year if that, who called me Grandma Dorothy like I was a distant relative, not the woman who'd held their mother for 9 months before she was born. I texted back one word. Safe. Then I got dressed, went downstairs and ate breakfast in the hotel restaurant, scrambled eggs, bacon, toast, coffee that was better than I expected. At the table next to me, a family of 4 was arguing about their itinerary. Disneyland versus the beach. The mother looked exhausted. The father was scrolling his phone. The kids were kicking each other under the table. I felt suddenly, overwhelmingly grateful I was alone. After breakfast, I walked. The hotel was near Century Boulevard, not a walking neighborhood, but I didn't care. I walked past car rental places, past a Target, past a strip mall with a nail salon and a faux restaurant. I stopped at a small park, really just a patch of grass with a few benches and a playground, sat down, watched a young mother push her toddler on a swing. The child's laughter was pure, uncomplicated. I stayed there for an hour, maybe more. When I got back to the hotel, there was a voicemail. Jessica. I almost deleted it. Almost. But I listened. Mom. Her voice was tight. I don't know what you want me to say. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. But you're punishing all of us for it. Brad says you won't talk to him. The kids keep asking where you are. This isn't fair. I saved the message. Not because I wanted to keep it. Because I wanted to remember it. The way she'd made herself the victim. The way she'd weaponized my grandchildren. The way I'm sorry had come before, but that afternoon I called my bank. The automated system connected me to a representative named Miguel. How can I help you today, Miss Brennan? I need to make changes to my accounts. All of them. What kind of changes? I have automatic transfers set up. To my daughter's account. $800 a month. I want to stop them. I can help with that. Can I ask why? I appreciated that he asked. I'm done helping someone who doesn't see me. There was a pause. Then, quietly, I understand. Let me pull up your account. It took 20 minutes. While Miguel worked, he made small talk, asked if I was visiting LA or lived here. I told him I was visiting, sort of. He laughed at that. Best kind of visit. The sort of kind. When we were done, he said, anything else I can help with? Yes. Actually, I have a savings account, joint with my daughter. I want to remove her. I can start that process, but she'll be notified. Good. Another pause. Then Miguel said, my mom had to do something similar. With my brother. It's hard, but sometimes it's right. Thank you, Miguel. You take care, Miss Brennan. After I hung up, I sat in the hotel room's uncomfortable desk chair and made a list. Not of grievances, not of anger, just facts. $800 divided by month for 3 years equals $28,800. Co-signed car loan, 2019, $15,000, never paid back. Down payment on their house, 2017, $30,000. We'll pay you back when Brad gets promoted. He got promoted. I'm still waiting. Emergency room bill, when Mason broke his arm, $2,400. Private school tuition assistance, $5,000 a year for 2 years. Plane tickets to visit them, every time. Never once did they come to Phoenix. The list went on. By the end, the number was $94,200. $94,200. I stared at it, not with anger, with clarity. That evening, I called my lawyer. Catherine Alvarez had handled Robert's estate 6 years ago. She answered on the 3rd ring. Dorothy, is everything all right? I need to update my will. Of course. When would you like to come in? I'm in California right now. Can we do it over the phone? At least start the process? Yes. Tell me what you're thinking, I told her. All of it. The party that wasn't. The money. The years of showing up unnoticed. When I finished, she was quiet for a moment. Dorothy, I have to ask. Are you sure? These kinds of changes, they're hard to undo emotionally. I've never been more sure of anything. All right, then let's begin. We talked for an hour. By the end, everything I owned, my house, my savings, my retirement accounts, the insurance policy was going to someone else. Not Jessica. Someone who'd actually earned it. I'd decide who later. Maybe a charity. Maybe my nephew's daughter, Emily, who still sent me birthday cards every year, handwritten ones. When we finished, Catherine said, I'll draft everything and email it to you. You can review and we'll finalize when you're back. Thank you. Dorothy? For what it's worth, you're doing the right thing. That night, Jessica called. I answered. Mom, oh my God. Brad just got a notification from the bank. Did you remove me from your accounts? Yes. Why would you do that? Because I'm not a bank, Jessica. I'm your mother. That's not fair. We needed that money. No, you wanted it. There's a difference. So what, you're punishing me? Because I forgot a date? I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting myself. From your own daughter? Yes. I could hear her breathing. Angry, sharp breaths. You know what? Fine. If that's how you want to be, fine. Don't expect us to keep calling. I won't. She hung up. I sat there in the dark hotel room, phone in my lap, and waited for the guilt, for the second guessing. It didn't come. What came instead was something unexpected. Relief. The next day was Sunday, my birthday. I woke up at 7, showered, put on the navy dress. Not for a party. For me. I went downstairs, ate breakfast alone. Afterward, I took a cab to Santa Monica. Walked the pier. Watched street performers, families with ice cream, couples holding hands. At noon, I sat on a bench facing the ocean. The water was gray-blue, endless. I pulled out my phone, took a selfie. Me, gray hair neat, navy dress, hint of a smile. The pier and ocean behind me. I posted it on Facebook, my first post in months. Caption: 70, and learning what I'm worth. Within an hour, there were 63 likes, 42 comments. Happy birthday, Dorothy. You look beautiful. Enjoy your special day. One comment was from Emily, my nephew's daughter. Happy birthday, Aunt Dot. You deserve all the good things. With 3 heart emojis. I replied, Thank you, sweetheart. Want to get lunch this week? My treat. She responded immediately, Yes, I'm free Tuesday. I smiled, really smiled. That afternoon I flew home. The flight was quiet. I had a row to myself. No one to account to. No one to perform for. Phoenix welcomed me with dry heat and familiar silence. I took a cab home, unlocked my door, stood in the entryway of my small house. Everything was as I'd left it. The dishes in the sink, the mail on the counter, the photo of Robert on the mantel. I set down my suitcase, kicked off my shoes, made a cup of tea, sat on my back patio, and watched the sun set behind the mountains. The Palo Verde tree dropped its yellow flowers. A mourning dove called from somewhere close. My phone rang. Jessica. I didn't answer. 2 days later, Emily came over. She was 27, worked as a graphic designer, had her father's warm laugh and her late mother's gentle eyes. We sat in my kitchen, ate sandwiches I'd made, drank iced tea. So, she said, want to tell me what really happened in California? I told her. Not all of it. Just enough. When I finished, she reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Aunt Dot, I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm not. Good, because you shouldn't be. She paused. You know, I've always wanted to know you better. I just thought, I don't know, that I'd be imposing. You wouldn't be. Then can I take you up on that? Lunch once a week? Or coffee? Or just sitting here eating your sandwiches? I felt something warm spread through my chest. I'd like that. Over the next month, things shifted. Jessica called twice more. Both times, I let it go to voicemail. Both messages were variations of the same theme. I'd overreacted. She'd apologized. Why was I being stubborn? I didn't respond. Brad called once, left a long message about how the kids missed me, how Jessica was hurt, how families work through things. I deleted it. What I didn't delete: Emily's texts, dinner invitations, funny memes, photos of her cat. Tuesday became our day. Sometimes we went out. Sometimes she came to my house. We talked about everything: her job, her boyfriend, my marriage to Robert. What it was like getting older. What it meant to choose yourself. One evening, 6 weeks after California, she asked, Have you thought about what you'll do with the house? After, I mean. Eventually. I've been thinking about it, actually. And? I looked at her. Really looked. At this young woman who'd shown up without obligation, who'd asked for nothing, who'd simply chosen to see me. I've been thinking it should go to someone who knows what family actually means. Her eyes went wide. Aunt Dot, you don't mean. I do. She started crying. I did too. But they were good tears. The kind that come when something broken finally heals. 3 months after my birthday, I was in my garden when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to. Is this Dorothy Brennan? Yes. This is Gwen Martinez. I'm a hospice nurse. I'm calling because, well, this is unusual, but I'm sitting with a patient right now who asked me to find you. My heart stuttered. Who? Her name is Patricia Hartwell. She said you'd know her as Patty. From high school? Patty. I hadn't thought about her in 40 years. We'd been best friends freshmen through junior year, then life happened. She'd moved to Oregon. I'd stayed in Arizona. We'd lost touch the way people do. Is she? She's in hospice. End-stage pancreatic cancer. She doesn't have long. She asked if you could come. Said she had something to tell you. No family close by. Just wanted a friendly face. I sat down heavily on my garden bench. Where is she? Flagstaff. Mountain View Hospice Center. I'll be there tomorrow. I drove to Flagstaff the next morning. 3 hours north, into pine forests and thinner air. The hospice center was small, calm, filled with soft light and softer voices. Patty was in room 7. When I walked in, I barely recognized her. The vibrant girl I'd known was gone. What remained was paper-thin skin stretched over bones, eyes too large in a sunken face. But when she saw me, those eyes lit up. Dottie. I sat beside her bed, took her hand. Patty. We talked for hours. About high school. About the lives we'd lived. She'd never married, had no children, had spent her career as a teacher in Portland. She told me about the mountains, the rain, the coffee shops she'd loved. And then she said, I need to tell you something. It's why I asked Gwen to find you. Okay. You were the first person who saw me. Really saw me. When everyone else cared about being popular or pretty or whatever, you just cared about being real. I never forgot that. And I never thanked you. I squeezed her hand. Patty, I don't have much. But what I have, I want it to matter. I'm leaving everything to a scholarship fund. For kids who don't fit in, who need someone to see them. She smiled. I'm naming it after us. The Dorothy and Patricia Fund. I started crying. Couldn't help it. Don't cry. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. She died 3 days later. I was there when it happened, holding her hand, telling her she mattered, that she'd been seen. At her memorial, there were maybe 20 people, former students mostly. Each one told a story about how Patty had changed their life, how she'd seen them when no one else did. After, driving home, I thought about Jessica, about how she'd never see me the way Patty had, the way Emily did, and I realized I was okay with that. Some people are in your life because of blood, some because of choice. The ones who choose you are the ones who count. I'm 70 now, 71 in a few months. My house is small but mine. My garden is thriving. Emily comes over every Tuesday. We've started a tradition, Sunday dinners. Just the two of us. Sometimes her boyfriend joins. Last week, she brought a friend who'd just lost her grandmother. We made lasagna, told stories, laughed until we cried. Jessica hasn't called in 4 months. Part of me wonders if she ever will. Part of me doesn't care anymore. What I've learned. You can't make people see you. You can only decide who gets access to you. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is walk away from the people who never showed up in the first place. Last week, I got a letter. From Jessica. Not an email, not a text. A real letter. I held it for a long time before opening it. Inside, Mom, I know I messed up. I know sorry isn't enough, but I'm trying to understand why you won't forgive me. The kids ask about you. I tell them you're busy. But I think the truth is, you've decided we're not worth your time. That hurts more than you know. I read it twice. Then I folded it, put it in a drawer. Maybe someday I'll respond, maybe not. What I did instead, I called Emily, asked if she wanted to take a trip, maybe Oregon, see the mountains Patty loved. She said yes before I finished asking. We leave next week, and if you're reading this, if you've ever been forgotten at an airport or anywhere else, if you've ever packed hope in a suitcase only to have it lost in transit, listen, you don't need permission to value yourself. You don't need an invitation to celebrate your own life. You can buy your own cake. You can wear your good dress for nobody but you. You can choose who sees you and who doesn't get the privilege. I'm 70 years old, and I'm just learning how to do that. But it's never too late. Not for me, not for you. Your seat at the table is your own. Don't let anyone take it. And if they try, walk away. There are other tables, better ones, with people who'll save you a place without you having to ask.